everyone. How y'all doing? Thanks for stopping by and tuning in, as always. So, this here is straight, plain and simple, straight to the facts. But this has to be addressed because I don't know. It seems like once again something like this has not been addressed enough, or maybe has. But I'm saying, as far as my experience, yeah. So, but I'll go ahead and roll the quick clip, and I'll give my commentary on it afterwards.
Kill the noise.
Hey,
The second time y'all making noise day and night.
I don't care if you're fucking recording me. I'm not doing nothing to
She
you.
get it all out your system.
I'm not doing
Already called
anything.
security.
It's my dog.
Already
trying
got
to go to
security.
bed.
And they
I
coming
don't
the other
care.
way.
I don't care.
Go ahead. Say what you want to say.
You can record all you want. I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah, I'll keep doing it until y'all
You're
stop.
the one that's over here knocking like a
My
fucking
mother
crazy
came
ass
over here
person.
last week to say y'all stop.
Okay, I understand that. But you don't need to be doing that shit
No, you
right
actually
now.
don't understand because you're
No,
still doing it.
I don't care. It's my place. I'm paying.
It ain't your place.
It is, because I'm
It
paying
ain't your
for
place.
it.
You don't own it.
paying.
You don't fucking
You're
own
not
it.
fucking paying.
You don't fucking own it.
I don't care. I don't own it, but I'm paying, right?
You don't own it.
You can go mind your
You don't
fucking
own it.
business.
You
Go
just
back
rent.
downstairs,
Rent don't
motherfucker.
mean you don't own
You can
shit.
go back downstairs and
Nope.
mind your fucking business.
Nope.
Get
So
the
y'all
fuck
stop.
out of here.
Y'all fucking stop. Y'all fucking stop. No. Fuck you. Fuck you. And the property manager tells us, me and my mother, not to go at it with tenants. Really? Fuck out of here.
Well. Mr. Smartass. Just like the other guy in the previous video. You all heard the whole entire commentary for yourselves. I'm just back here rolling, laughing. Like, I ain't even upset. I mean, like, I was laughing this shit off way after the fact. I mean, what else there is to get mad or complain about? I mean, what really got me the most, like, you heard him clearly say that I own, you own your, there's no way in the world you, really? You own your own apartment? Please, somebody tell me in the comment section, have you ever heard of such law before in the entire nation, not the entire world, to own an apartment? No, dummy. There's no such fucking thing as owning an apartment. And Judge Mathis said it best. He said in the case, a litigant said in the case about, yeah, as long as you pay all your rent in full or whatever up front, then you are good for whatever, 12 months or whatever, something the guy, the brother said. But Judge Mathis was like, okay, do you have that law? Okay, read it to me. He's like, no, I don't have it. He said, yeah, because there's no such law in the entire nation. It's called month-to-month tenancy. But let me get this clown off my screen too. Just bang him also, so I can finish talking to y'all.
Better. Much better. So, that, as y'all also noticed too, in the door, Halloween decorations or what have you, that was around Halloween time, or Halloween weekend. That was on a Saturday night. I got back to me and my mother's unit around 10. 10:30. This is what I started. Well, I was working. First contractor, because I kept saying 4 with contracted to Amazon DSP back there in Dallas. And my mother actually, she went out of town that particular weekend, down to San Antonio somewhere with a girlfriend at the time. And when I had said my mother came up there to their door that week prior to. Yeah, because just like that, he was the father there that was that I was going back and forth with at the door, was putting together some bookshelf or whatever. 11:30 at night. It's quiet time hours over there. So that's why I wanted to get at as far as, on that topic that, it's quiet time in, mind you, their bedroom, his and his fiance or wife or whatever's bedroom is above my mother's bedroom. They have a 2-bedroom, and we have a 2-bedroom. All the units are pretty much mapped out and constructed the same. Right? You got a 1-bedroom unit or a 2-bedroom unit. 1-bedroom units all stack on each other, on top of each other, one another, on the edge of each complex building, I think. And then the 2 bedrooms or 3 or whatever are all in the middle of each apartment building. So, but I explained this to you all several individually the last 2 years of dealing with these kind of issues with families with children. This isn't, again, not my first rodeo. So I'm gonna go back to the very beginning real fast, as much as I can. My first experience, not as a kid growing up, no. Because you know what, even with that, like I said before, we don't have not a whole lot of alpha parents, males and females, to, to stop this nonsense, prevent it from happening, to get complaints like this, domestic disturbances, whatever you want to call it. Because when I was a kid growing up, my parents of that generation, old generation from back in the day, do not tolerate this crap at all. So they weren't like this when they were children back during their time. Anytime that they got out of line like that, it was straight to getting a whooping, and the same thing for me. So I know how that feels. But nowadays, we don't really have that anymore. That's why we got, like Judge Matt said, all this violence in the industry. But he's made this speech like 2 decades ago before what we're dealing with right now. So, but my first experience, this kind of stuff, not on a regular, not every day, no, but I say every once in a blue moon, as long as I had the apartment when I first had my very own apartment 5-6 years ago, for 1 year. I only had the apartment for 1 year here in North Carolina. But that was after the fact of me having some personal problems, here in this house, so on and so. But nonetheless, once I got my apartment, it was a 1-bedroom unit at ground level on the first floor. It's a 2-story apartment complex, so you got somebody living above you. Well, at the time, person who was living above me, I guess a brother who must be a single father, but had a little toddler, a child running around, but not all the time. Like I said, every once in a blue moon, out of maybe 1, 3, 4, 5 other different times of me living there. I didn't fully live in there like that anyway. Why? Because I was trucking off and on and doing the other job in between that. Like I said, delivering newspapers, and picking up rail crew employees and things of that nature, right? So I didn't really have the full experience, but just a snippet of what it might, to come, this experience of what it's like living in an apartment when you got, like I said, none of these are soundproof. So where I was at previously with my mother, that's not soundproof, but you all probably might know from experience as well, living in those type of conditions before moving into a house. Usually what you mostly deal with is outside noise interference. Bass booted cars passing by, bumping music, activity outside way before COVID, became about whatever. It's boo-boo COVID, boo-boo 19. But I'm just, like I said, speaking as far as on the inside noise. So I told my mother, about it, my parents and stuff, on that time. But like I say, I didn't experience it right then and there because, like I said, the job and stuff. So then fast forward into, me moving to Dallas 2 years ago and dealing with that up until that point. Not with the people I just showed you now, it was previously a black family, African American family, who moved in there. Well, before them, it was another family or a single mother with kids that was living up there, and they were just moving out as soon as we were moving in down below them. So, but I heard as far as them running around and stuff or whatever. And then, yeah, when the African-American family moved in up there, it was like that almost on a regular. And the only times it wouldn't happen, of course, if they weren't there and they were out of town going somewhere. Again, this was 2019 before 2020 vision. So, then when 2020 came around, started initiating the lockdown March of last year, I'm like, okay, everything, like, I immediately called the leasing office, because I've been, on the phone with them back and forth when they first moved in, saying, listen, all right, now we're in a state of transitional situation of, we got this, this thing going on outside, and we're forced to be, quarantine for, that long or short period of time. Can they, like, give us, like, some respect, like, something, like, during this time, like, if, like, if somebody was grieving at this time, so, like, please show your respect during this time, because it's, like, this shook us all, globally, like, never before. And their response or excuses are always, well, we'll try to reach out to them, you know how they always do, yeah, we'll reach out to them and check back in with us, because I showed them the evidence of what I'm showing y'all now, this current family that's up there right now, if they still are. I don't know, I ain't answering, but I doubt they probably are, when I had moved out of there January as of this year. So, but yeah, I reported both families, the African American family and this Hispanic family, foreign family. The African American family, they had moved out sometime around July of last year when I was here on vacation. Before I came here on vacation, they were in the process of moving out. Because I noticed on their balcony, top floor balcony, that they had the blinds open to the porch door. And it looked empty there in the living room up there with the light on. So it's like, okay, they must be moving out. And once they did, I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can sleep in my bed, back in my bed again in my room, because all the children's rooms besides mine from down below is above mine. So always having, I wore earplugs the last 2 years. I never wore no type of earplugs besides headphones in my entire life until I was living back in an apartment for that time being. Because I always lived in a house. I lived in apartments, just like I said, when I was a kid growing up until age 8, 9, 10. That's when I lived in a house, a home. All the way up until then. And not having to worry about, in noise interference and stuff like that, unless if it be created or somewhere to be handled, whatever. But I'm just saying. So, yeah, wearing earplugs with the African American family and their kids, and with the Hispanic family during that time, from up to date. I did reach out to African American family too. I don't have that footage, unfortunately, because I wasn't thinking about as far as documentation of telling the leasing office about it. And we just, nothing like, this is the thing, from what we were told, or as far as by security, they have a security firm, they said, yeah, it's 3 strikes and you're out, you're done. After that 3rd strike of a noise complaint or whatever, it's a legal eviction, not illegal eviction, legal eviction, or having to move out process and all that. I'm saying, as far as McKinney police always coming out there to respond to a domestic disturbance at one of the townhomes, because it's a townhome complex as well with the apartment homes in there. And them usually, having to come out and check on things. Sometimes security will come out there too. I'll see them from time to time, and I, like I said, I spoke security to right then and there once the Hispanic family moved in there or what have you, or just causing all this noise and stuff, and like it just wouldn't. I'm basically saying I'm forced to having to always sleep on the couch in the living room. Yeah, I know it's embarrassing, The only times I ever got to sleep in my bed, like I said, is if any of the families were out of town or whatever. And like, well, we need to find better living in the house. So, well, it's something we couldn't afford right then at the time. We tried to when I first moved out there, but, you know, we weren't approved, you know, so and so. So we were going to find as far as another apartment complex that was down the street that we did go to and speak to, but to get, you know, to have the higher floor so that nobody, you know, so that we wouldn't live above or, you know, above somebody, you know. Because I'll say this, the person who lived below us, or when I was there, lived below us, kindly asked me and my mother when my stepfather came into town to help us move and stuff. Was like, yeah, you don't have any children by anything? Like, I wasn't present, but my mother said no. It's like, well, good, and so like, you don't want to complain, so and so. But I'm getting complained at by, you know, like, oh, I come in here with loud music and so when I pull my car around from finishing up doing Lyft or whatever at the time back in 2019 by a lady down on the first floor on the opposite side of the building. Like, no, I asked, talking about loud, not the car audio, but the audio volume control on my tablet. I'm like, no, I was just turning it down before you even came out here, whatever. But yeah, so I'm saying, man, these folks just do not understand. Me having to send emails to the property manager, going in there, and then now having to wear a mask, and only a few people can be in there at a time unless you got an appointment, whatever. And like, yeah, we got a right to this stuff. I keep showing y'all the evidence. They're like, oh, that's not enough. That's like always their excuse. Like, keep checking in with us and keep letting us know. Like, no, like, we have a right to feel how we feel. And my mother said the same thing and telling them, like, listen, nonstop, day and night. Like, there's no way. And to make matters worse, that top floor unit is all wooden flooring. I don't know if y'all noticed that in the shop, but it's wooden flooring. So wooden flooring then compared to carpet flooring, there's a big difference. I mean, and like I said, because it's not soundproof. So you're going to hear everything up there. If they drop something heavy and all, whatever, the whole unit's going to shake. It's going to vibrate. It's like I keep saying earthquake effects, because that's basically what that shit is. So, yeah, that's all I got. I don't know what else to say or cover as far as this particular topic and all. So, like I said, I don't like to, make, these type. I'm just, like I said, it's just a learning. I'm just speaking from a learning experience. My experience of dealing with in certain situations. But, yeah. So, from my channel to your channel, salute. Oh, and I also want to add, so since my return back here to North Carolina, as of January of this year, that, like I said, about outside noise and interference, well, I've already experienced some of that here and there these last 3 months. Excuse me, because we're already in April, about to go into my birthday month, May. But first time was January, where there's a house up the road where these people subleasing the house. I don't know how long that's been, probably the last maybe a few years, I don't know. But I'm just speaking as of right now. They had some type of party going on, I guess, for somebody's birthday, graduation, whatever it was. And they had loud music playing all night long. But they had the party outdoors, outside, in their yard, underneath, inside of a tent. So the DJ, whatever speakers and stuff, were coming from in there, inside the tent. And my stepfather was here. He was leaving out in the middle of the night around 4 o'clock in the morning to go do an over-the-road load.
and he thought they had stopped playing the music right then at 4 in the morning. No, I told him, I said they continued playing the music all the way up until sunrise at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. is when they stopped playing loud music. And he was like, well, yeah, this is why I've called on the sheriff's office, you know, when people are playing loud music past midnight. Because this is a quiet area around here in the country. But we got people who, you know, live out here who don't know no better as well at times. We got another Hispanic family who, however many years ago, back when I was still trucking, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, lived a house past us in a little trailer area. Would play some music from here and there, loud music, mariachi music, whatever you call it. Last played it maybe about a month or so ago before my departure with contracting to Amazon. And then like this past Easter weekend, Sunday night going into Monday last week, the people up the road, like back in January, was playing loud music, but they didn't play it all night long. They probably stopped around like maybe 1 or 1:30. Because I was going to go ahead and make the call myself and notify the sheriff's office, because they're the only ones that come out here to, you know, domestic disturbances, not the local cops, because we're outside of town. I'm over here in West Smithfield, apart from Smithfield. So, yeah, so again, what are y'all thoughts on all of these top or things or situations? Has this ever happened to you, and or are you guilty of it? I mean, just let me know. Like I said, I'm guilty of what I'm guilty on. You know, what I said earlier as far as loud music or supposedly loud music to somebody else. But I'll say this. I play loud music as far as like when I'm out and about, like in the car and stuff. As far as like in the house, that's different. But not to have nobody complain or, you know, like, yeah. Because, you know, this shit is real. It does get real. So, yep. So, but this is a new challenge I want to throw in there too. Dead Wrong Challenge. It's called the Dead Wrong Challenge. And it's open and available. Open invitation to everybody who wants to accept and try it out. Again, to share your personal stories. You don't have to, or something similar to it. That's totally up to you. So, but I'm out this piece.
Gulfstream Entertainment, Michael Carter Studios and Production.